We have had yet another week when everyone has been looking at how individuals discharge their roles in public life. The comment and scrutiny will continue over the next few weeks, but what is at the root of all the events is the question of what framework we use to hold ourselves to account. In our lives, we could construct a moral framework around just about every action if we wished. For example, many actions, from cleaning the car through to putting on the washing machine, could now be measured against the environmental impact and the moral challenge we face. But to be honest, we don't scrutinise all of our actions in this way. We just get on with life and living. However, we do sometimes hold ourselves to account. There are certain choices which we make because we are guided by our own integrity. That is to say, that we detect an inherent contradiction between one part of our lives and the potential consequence of a decision. This is at the heart of the political drama of this week. But it should also be what drives us in some of our moral decision-making. Jesus reserved some of his harshest criticism of personal conduct for those who act without integrity. For example, Jesus said, "Whenever you give alms, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be praised by others." He went on to say, "Whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others." Elsewhere in the Bible, we hear St. Paul railing against hypocrisy. "You that boast in the law, do not dishonour God by breaking the law." There cannot be anyone who has not at some point been inconsistent or hypocritical. But acting with integrity is not just a requirement of public life, but also of our personal decision-making. This is because our choices and behaviours affect how we interact with others, and also possibly how they affect our own personal fulfilment. This is not, though, a Stoic argument. Stoicism flourished in ancient Greece and Rome and promoted ethical living as the source of a good life. It taught that virtue is the only good. But Stoicism was also about an intentional intellectualism which favoured logic and reason as the tools for making the choices leading to a good life. This is different from Christianity, which teaches that a life open to Jesus Christ and filled with his Spirit is one where ethical choices are spiritual and possibly even emotional, rather than logical and rational. Of course, we cannot really have one course without the other, but if you allow your faith to shape the person that you are, then your choices will reflect those values. It becomes irrelevant whether the party you had during the pandemic was or was not within the law, because the ethical issue was whether it was justified in a context where others were following a different set of rules. Moral decision-making must also be applied with a degree of proportionality. Why is it that the public have viewed the Downing Street parties differently from, say, the way we judge people who eschew the rules to cross the road where there is no pedestrian crossing? Integrity is not a decision, but a reflection of our being. We all slip up and betray ourselves and others when we make poor decisions, but an inherent rejection of the conflicts of hypocrisy shows those around us who we really are. Whether or not you are a person of faith, living with yourself is not possible if you're not entirely sure who you are.